Hi, welcome back to VeNICE. I am so excited to be in Small World Books with the owner, Mary, right here, and one of my favorite authors, Rhoda Huffey. Her book is, excuse me, right here, although there are others. Anyway, we're so excited to be here, and we're going to find out a little bit about Small World Books and a little bit about Rhoda. Okay, so I know, Mary, that this place has a lot of history, that we're not going to get the whole thing, but tell us a little bit about how you got here and what you're about.
Okay, Small World Books started in Marina del Rey in 1969. We lost our lease and we saw this empty building on the boardwalk with graffiti saying "Stop Bombing in Cambodia." So it was 1976. Wow. And we said, well, what a great idea for the bookstore. And my husband thought he'd open a little takeout restaurant on the corner, serve coffee. And the roller skates came out that year, the polyurethane roller skates. And everything took off. The restaurant was more than a little takeout restaurant, and the bookstore has been strongly supported by a wonderful community of readers. So,
I have to say, when I moved to Venice, and I am not OG, I am definitely a newbie. 15 years ago, I walked down on the boardwalk, and there's so much going on the boardwalk. And then I saw Small World Books tucked back, and I literally was like, oh my God, there's sanity. So it's a really neat spot that you're here.
and people still come in and say, "Oh, how long have you been here?" And it's now 48 years.
Wow.
So,
Nothing like discovering something after 48 years.
exactly, exactly.
And then one other time when I was here, we had a reading in the back, and Rhoda's one of my dear friends and a brilliant author. I still picture the ducks from your book. And so just tell us a little bit about you and Small World Books. And both have been down here for a long time.
Well, that reading was great, and it was such a Venice reading because all the neighbors came, a lot of friends came, but it wasn't like a highbrow literary. I mean, it was like people are going, "Hey, Rhoda, how's it going?" And
It was real Venice.
my neighbors brought their kids who were very young, and they were, God, it was just fabulous. Anyway, and I happened upon Small World Books right after I moved here. The boardwalk, which I loved because I moved from Irvine in Orange County, which was like a it was like all the houses matched. The mini blinds in the house where I lived had to match the mini blinds in that project. And I thought I was dying there. Anyway, I got a divorce. Everybody said, don't move to Venice. It's dangerous. And in the first year after a divorce, you don't know what you're doing. And I just had a feeling about it. And I moved here. I loved it from the first day. And my neighbor, Dave Sachs, told me if anyone asked me if I liked Venice, to tell them it's very dangerous and not to even drive through here.
Don't come in. Don't come in.
So that's what I
did.
did.
The same thing. I moved from Palos Verdes because it
Oh.
was so. I just was so unhappy. I was 23. It was just awful. And Venice, it just it plays on one's hopes and desires.
It does. Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so my husband and I got married after 25 years a year ago, December. And we just decided to do it on the spur of the moment, kind of. And
I didn't
we
know that.
told the neighbors. I know
she
we
was married.
we told whoever we ran into, and we did it on the walk street in front of the house, which is half a block from the ocean, and just whoever showed up, and we found out at the last minute that the guy who was marrying us. I said, we should ask him if he has papers. And we asked him, and he said, no, I don't have papers.
So you're still not legit.
No, we got him. Somebody walked their dog, and then my friend, who's a tap dancer, came, and we did a tap dance.
Oh,
but it was such a Venice wedding.
I love
It
it.
was like, this place healed me. And Mary and I are both from Iowa. It doesn't really resemble Iowa, but,
But it's so where I needed to live.
And there's something
just
like it's
speaks
not
to you.
a snooty place.
And you're never bored.
And
Well,
you're
and-
never bored.
And
No.
the one thing that I think makes Small World Books so special is or small bookstores is this is my favorite. I love coming in and being able to read a little bit, hear people's picks. You know, especially if you, I like to read, but I don't think of myself as like my sister is a reader, and I like to read. And if you like to read and you come in here, you can become a reader.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things to do too, is say, can you, they recommend a book and we say, what have you read that you like?
Yes.
And then we walk around and we help, and that's great fun,
And
which
I-
you can't do on Amazon.
No.
No, and also when I moved here, I was doing theater at the time, and you do have a little theater section that
do
I
indeed.
was impressed with, I have to say. So,
And when you buy a book, people get excited about what you're buying. I love
yes,
that, you
it
know.
is. It's a present.
You don't
Yeah.
think
More
we're
like a-
invading your privacy? Sometimes I worry about that.
And they'll say,
Oh,
"Oh, have you
really?"
read his other?" You know, it's
Yeah.
yeah. It's exciting, and you know.
Well, this is a gem, another gem in Venice, and well, now I don't know what to say. I ran out, but okay. Anyway, this is such a nice gem in Venice, and we love that you've
Thank
found
you.
us.
I'm
and
happy to be here.
You stayed, and you're thriving, and that you can come in here and just visit all the jewels. And this is a beautiful human being, and you should read her books.
I just want to say one thing about that, because I've been here since '91, which makes me, as Mary said, a newbie, because that's not very long to be here. So I wrote this book, which is about Venice and my experience of coming here. And the scariest part for me was sending it to a reviewer from the Venice Beachhead, because I thought he is going to trash me because I'm a newbie. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't see, that I don't know. And it was fine, but it's intimidating.
The Venice Beachhead has been here longer than anything.
Has it?
And yeah, they were here when we opened, and they picketed. They said that, the restaurant, don't change Venice. They picketed out front. And then instantly became friends of ours. Arnold Springer was part of the Venice Beachhead
Was he?
editorial board too, so as the Venice Neighborhood Council president.
Oh my God.
But they say Venice, a room full of 10 people,
Don't
and 35
tell
opinions.
Don't tell Venice Beachhead about VeNICE.
Yeah, there's a lot of good media though in Venice. Good opinions, lots
Yes,
of opinions.
Lots of
And
opinions
Katie
here.
is very much part of Venice.
You know what? I
Yeah.
can't get out. I'm here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.